It won't begin with an explosion, not a flash, not a boom, not even a sound. It'll begin with silence. A single satellite goes offline, then another, then hundreds. GPS signals vanish, weather predictions freeze. The stock market glitches. Your phone starts acting weird. Planes lose navigation, banks go dark, and somewhere, 240 kilometers above Earth, tiny fragments of metal are racing at 17,000 miles per hour, slicing through orbit like invisible bullets. You won't hear the first shot of a space war, but Earth will feel the impact. For decades, space has been seen as humanity's final frontier, an endless void of science, dreams, and peaceful cooperation. But that's changing. Fast. Behind closed doors, space is being militarized. Not tomorrow, not in the distant future. It's already happening. Let's rewind to 2007. China fires a missile into space, targeting one of its own aging weather satellites. The missile hits. The satellite shatters into over 3,000 pieces.
Taking some heat for a missile test, firing 500 miles into space to destroy an orbiting satellite. That test is part of China's efforts to establish a military presence in outer space.
Those fragments are still out there, each one a tiny time bomb that could cripple another satellite on impact. That single test created the largest debris field in human history, and it was just a test. Since then, the US, India, and Russia have conducted their own anti-satellite ASAT weapon tests. The message is clear. Satellites are now targets. Space is a battlefield, and we're already arming for it. But what would an actual war in space look like? Let's break the sci-fi myth. There will be no space dogfights, no laser cannons, no dramatic explosions. In reality, space warfare is cold, calculated, and terrifyingly quiet. It would likely start with cyber attacks, jamming satellite signals, corrupting data, hijacking communication networks. A surveillance satellite could be blinded without a single shot fired. Missile warning systems could be spoofed. Drone fleets could be grounded. Entire armies could be digitally paralyzed before they even realize they've been attacked. Then comes kinetic warfare. That means satellites ramming into other satellites, missiles launched from Earth to intercept orbiting targets, even satellites that carry robotic arms designed to snatch or disable enemy hardware. These are not ideas. These are real systems, tested, deployed, and in some cases already orbiting above us. Now picture this. A single satellite destroyed in low Earth orbit. The debris spreads, it collides with another, then another. This is the Kessler syndrome, a chain reaction that fills orbit with debris, rendering it useless for decades, maybe centuries. No new launches, no space stations, no satellites, nothing. We'd be locked out of space permanently. But why does that matter? Because we are completely dependent on space, more than most people realize. Take away satellites, and here's what collapses. Global banking transactions, navigation for aircraft and ships, missile defense systems, weather forecasting, internet infrastructure, emergency response systems, and yes, even food supply chains. No satellites means no GPS, no timing systems, no strategic communications. Militaries go blind, economies stall, civilian life grinds to a halt, and all of this could happen from one bad decision, one missile, one miscalculation. Here's the most dangerous part. The battlefield isn't just above Earth, it's invisible, orbital, and shared. Unlike airspace or oceans, orbit isn't divided into neat borders. Satellites from rival nations operate just kilometers apart, which means in a real conflict, things could spiral fast and without warning. Destroying a satellite might feel like a tactical win, but in reality, it's like shooting a grenade in a glass house. The debris doesn't care who fired the first shot. It threatens everyone equally, and that's why, even today, nations are preparing less for attack and more for survival. The US military now invests heavily in resilience architecture. Instead of giant billion-dollar satellites, they're deploying constellations, hundreds or even thousands of smaller satellites working together. Take out one, the system keeps running. They're also experimenting with maneuverable satellites, laser-based communication networks that can't be jammed, and hardened space assets capable of defending themselves in orbit. It's not just about attack anymore, it's about endurance. Meanwhile, new players like private companies are crowding the skies. Elon Musk's Starlink has launched over 6,000 satellites already. Amazon's Project Kuiper plans thousands more. In a conflict, are these civilian satellites protected, or are they fair game? That answer isn't clear. So what happens if war breaks out in space? No alarms, no sirens, just darkness, silence, and chaos back on Earth. It's not about sci-fi lasers or alien invasions. It's about satellites blinking out of existence, economies spiraling, militaries stumbling blind, and a civilization watching helplessly as it loses its most critical infrastructure. The weapons are real. The doctrines are evolving. The battlefield is above our heads, and if we're not careful, the next world war might begin in orbit and end far closer to home.